So howdy everybody, my name is Keith Warren. This week, Deer and Wildlife Stories travels to northern Louisiana. We're so far north at the Arkansas state line, it's about 1 mile that direction. We're at a place that's been growing big whitetail deer for the last 15 years, right here at Daniel Thomas Whitetails. And the big thing about this place is they grow big bucks that have the wow factor at 2 years of age. Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds presents Deer and Wildlife Stories. The whitetail deer is America's favorite big game animal, and whitetail deer farming is the fastest growing segment in the agriculture industry. Our program's mission is to dive into the world of deer farming and inform you of how deer farmers all over the country are now using rapidly developing science-based research on their captive deer herds to solve the chronic wasting disease issue through selective breeding. Not only is the new science working, but it's obvious that captive deer breeding is the only way to help save America's deer herd from CWD, which will help improve overall herd health and at the same time produce more quality trophy-sized animals for the general public. Join me as we discover how whitetail genetics, deer auctions, animal husbandry, and so much more drive the modern-day deer farming industry. My name is Keith Warren, and this is Deer and Wildlife Stories.
My name is Daniel Thomas. My wife and I own Daniel Thomas Whitetails. We roughly have 20 acres with 18 pens, and we try to keep it around 150 head, doe fawns and everything.
So I first came out to this particular farm about 9 years ago, I think. And at the time, Daniel's strategy was geared towards growing the biggest, baddest deer he could, just like everybody else's strategy. But things have changed. And the reason why they changed is because of chronic wasting disease. Chronic wasting disease is now just about everywhere. And there's a friend of the deer industry, his name is Dr. Christopher Seabury. He has come up with a strategy to be able to scientifically breed resistance to chronic wasting disease into those deer. And so what happened years ago, when I was here 9 years ago, this information wasn't even available. We had no idea that these deer had this genetic superpower to be able to protect themselves from CWD. And it just so turns out that Daniel was breeding with that superpower and he didn't even know it. So last time I was here, the only thing y'all had was whitetails.
That's right.
And I drove around, saw all these whitetails, but you got something other than whitetails now. You got red deer. Daniel's herd of red deer that he has here, they're just not red deer. Okay, they're special. Tell them genetically where these go back and why.
Well, I naturally started calling New Zealand and watching videos. I wanted the best red deer on the planet. And so the only way I can get that on my farm is through embryos from New Zealand. So my goal is, and it always has been, to own 100% pure New Zealand red deer.
And that's what these are here.
Yes, that's what these are.
And so when you take a look at these, the hinds, a female red deer is called a hind. Okay, and the male are clearly stags. Okay, so he's only got one stag, and this one stag, his pedigree is absolutely phenomenal. And if anybody in the red deer business goes back and you can take a look at it, you're going to recognize
Jack's son,
and then you've got Prometheus.
Prometheus is embryo full sister.
So you've got the bloodline right here.
Yes.
Okay, why did you choose red deer and not fallow deer? You know, what was it that made you choose red deer?
I like their crown. They're big, beautiful, heavy antlered. They mature early in some situations, and I do the same thing on the red deer that I do on my whitetail. I want to see and I want to know what they look like and what their measurements were at 2. And I base my breeding off their 2-year-old racks.
And so the 2-year-old rack off this stag here, we'll show it to you here, that it was big at 2.
Yeah.
Just like his whitetails are big, you got the wow factor at 2. That's kind of cool. I mean, to realize that, you know what, I thought I was just coming out here to see whitetail deer. I see red deer, and he's got a very successful program. When we get back from the break, we're going to start showing you the whitetails here at Daniel Thomas Whitetails in northern Louisiana. Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by the North American Deer Farmers Association, the North American Deer Registry, Dr. Ray Favero's Whitetail Genetics, and by New Dart. For more videos on deer farming, subscribe to the Deer Farming channel on YouTube and now TikTok. All right, so these are, what, 2-year-olds?
Yeah, every buck in there's 2.
Wow. Okay, so I want to first off point out your buck pens are big. This is a big buck pen. How big would you say this is?
It's right at 3 acres.
Yeah, this is big, and you've got, what, 15, 16 deer in here then?
Right.
They're all 2-year-olds, and how long have you been breeding deer?
I started in 10.
Okay, so 2010. Would you have ever thought that you're going to grow deer like this back then at 2 years old?
I had wishful thinking, but it was a long stretch.
And if anybody knows Daniel Thomas Whitetails, take a look at the sign.
My motto has always been the wow factor at 2.
Well, you've got some guys in here that are exceptional. They really are, but we were talking last night. There's not many in here that you'll even consider for breeding. Okay, and so
maybe a couple.
Why is that?
Because we're breeding for the lowest GEBV possible and hopefully go to picking up the S markers.
Okay, so with that being said, you've got some deer in here, they're SS's, and they're below a minus 0.2, isn't that?
Minus 2, even some minus 0.4.
And so that is incredible. What we're looking for here is the GEBV score to be low and the markers to be SS's. And so out of all these deer in here, although there are a lot of really good ones, there's just maybe 1 or 2 that you'll even consider using for breeding. And the reason why is because of the GEBV score, right?
The score.
Okay, so on these other ones, somebody's going to take a look at these other deer and go, what happened to them then?
They will make someone a great pasture buck to cover their does and, raise some large stalker type buck.
And he sells deer. Okay, these deer right here can be sold to a pasture. Okay, but at the same time too, you got some unbelievable does. Now these bucks, you can tell me they're not real wild, but they're not bottle raised either.
No.
Okay, but the does that are out here, they're very gentle because he's bottle raising them, and there's a reason for that. I mean, he wants to keep them nice and gentle, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that and show you his fawns a little bit. But these deer right here, for the most part, I mean, while most people would be very, very happy with these, there's only 1 or 2 in here that
this
man's happy with. So, okay, point somebody out in particular. That yellow 3 is a heck of a buck.
Yes, yellow 3 is a really nice buck. He's a minus 0.269. He's a GS.
Okay, that deer right there, if you wanted to use him to breed, you would definitely put him in with an SS and hopefully get an SS offspring out of him.
Yeah, with low GEBVs.
How many years have you been working on doing this?
4 or 5 years ago.
The whole industry is moving that way, and it's better for the deer, it's better for the landowners, and the way I look at it, it's better for the future. What about that buck 208? Tell me about him.
Yeah, a 208 GEBV is a 0.242595, and he's an SS. He's a champion son, a bodacious doe, Gladiator XL, Aftershock, Monarch 1.
And that's got a heck of a pedigree. He's stout. And you notice on top of pedigree is champion. Champion is a deer a lot of people have bred with, and that's a really good champion buck right there. So you'll probably breed with him, wouldn't you?
I'm going to watch him, but yes, I'm going to back up with him this year.
I'd definitely do that for sure. And he may not be your primary breeder, but as a backup buck, he'd be a heck of a backup buck. Right now, it is the first part of August. These deer still got, 2-3 weeks left to go.
Right.
Okay, so if they want to contact you, give them a telephone number.
318-469-9404. And
he's got some beautiful deer in a beautiful place. And the best thing about Daniel is his wife.
I agree with that.
I mean, they've been married 40 years. The day before yesterday was their 40th anniversary. So when you come out here, you're going to meet Brenda, but you're going to see some beautiful deer, and you're going to be able to make a friend in the deer industry, because Daniel Thomas, he's been around a long time, and he's got some really nice deer. Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by RS Deer Ranch, Record Rag Deer and Elk Feeds, Rut Manufacturing, and by the Servid Livestock Foundation. Deer and Wildlife Stories will be right back. Closed captioning provided by Advanced Deer Genetics. All right, so we're in a completely different pen now, and before we really start talking about specific deer, I mean, we'll show you there's lots of deer in here, but there's some special deer in here we're going to point out. But I want to first off point out that when you made the change from your original breeding strategy, and I think when everybody's made that change in the industry, they've kind of gone backwards a little bit. Would you agree with that?
I agree.
Because all we were doing is trying to grow the biggest deer we could. That's all we knew, just the biggest deer. Now we're trying to grow the ones that are resistant to CWD, the biggest ones of those. And we've had to isolate who they are. And Daniel is like way ahead of most people in that field. And the reason why is because he started earlier. He believed in it. There's a lot of people that still don't believe in it. And I believe they'll come around. But Daniel has believed in it longer than most people. And therefore, some of these deer that we're showing you right now, they're really exceptional deer. And we're going to start out pointing to specific deer in here. Let's go ahead with that buck right there. Who is that?
That's Black 6. We're getting ready to name him. He's a Mr. Massive out of a Bodacious Doe, Monarch Superstar, Maxbow XL.
Okay, so if a guy was to come up and say, all right, Black 6, I really like Black 6. I know he's only a yearling. I know you say you're not going to sell him, but I want him. You going to sell him?
No.
You mean that, don't you?
Yes.
I mean, and he's got a good reason. I mean, Black 6 right there. I mean, just look at him. That's a heck of a deer. Tell him why you're not going to sell him.
Well, he's in the top 3 in my pen. He's a minus 0.211964.
So that is a deer that you're going to name him here pretty quick.
Yeah, we'll be working on it.
Okay, you know, I'll tell you what, it's a lot harder to name these deer than you think. At least it is for me. All right, so we got another deer over there. Wait a minute, that deer right there is old. He's got the red tag on. Who's that?
G4.
Why you got him in here with all these young guys?
As he grows his antlers out, the 2-year-olds seem to be a little rougher on him, and I want him in here with these yearlings.
Yeah, well, he's doing good in here. He's big. So there's a really typical deer right there. Is that him? Would you call him Mr. Impressive?
Yes.
And how old is he?
He's 3 this year.
When I think of Daniel Thomas, I don't think of a deer that looks like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I don't. I mean, I know you a long time. I think of, no, that deer, why you got that deer? Tell him.
Well, number 1, he's minus 0.110477, and he's an SS.
Okay, and that right there, that makes him a keeper. Okay, what about that guy right there? There's no way he's a yearling. He's wide, he's got lots of points. Who's that?
Yes, that's Ammo. I backed up to him last year. His GEBV is a minus 0.219907, and he's a GS.
Okay, and so in your barn, you've actually got replicas of him.
That's right.
Mounted there. So I mean, we can show you that, and then show you, there he is right there. So that deer is Ammo. That's a cool looking deer. That's more the Daniel Thomas deer I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Monarch Classics of the world, the Cardiac Kids. I actually liked that cross so well, I went to Pennsylvania and bought Cardiac Kid buck with the nice drops, doe. Bred her with Monarch Classic because they both had those beautiful drops. And if you look at a lot of my herd, you'll see the big drops and that look.
You know, while we're sitting in a buck pen showing you all these bucks, the power from these guys comes from mama, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
These bucks, they're not bottle raised. I mean, some of them are more gentle than others, just like people all have different personalities. Some of them are a little bit more calm than others. They're not bottle raised. But the does are bottle raised, all of them. And you take a look at these does on this farm, and they're calm, okay? And that's where the power to be able to produce big deer like this comes from. So what breeders do, they're now looking around for the best, lowest scoring semen they can to put into the does that they have and create this offspring that is resistant to CWD from that. And so it's really where the power comes from these does.
I agree.
Okay, and we'll be showing you some more does here in a little bit, but right now, who's that buck right there? I mean, he is beautiful. I mean, he's wide. Is that a yearling too? Black 69, is that who that is?
Yes, Black 69 is a minus 0.361976.
Whoa. Is that a GS or SS?
He is a GS.
Really? That's a heck of a deer, Black 69. I like his look. Look at the spread on him as a yearling. I mean, that's a nice deer. And who's this other black tag buck here?
That's Black 13. He's a minus 0.183502, and he's a GS.
Okay, so You come out of the pens, let me see this. Daniel's got this clipboard, okay, and this is kind of his cheat sheet, okay,
Yeah.
because it is really hard to remember this stuff. Data is really important when you start doing deer farming, especially with the GEBVs. And so you come out here, he's gonna have this cheat sheet right here, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, what about that one? He's gonna say, NADAR number so-and-so. And the North American Deer Registry, you can go online. If you're a member, you can go online and you can check out any of these animals. You can check out their pedigree, but he'll be able to tell you who the sire is, who the dam is, who all of them are, okay? He's gonna show up with a cheat sheet that's gonna help you be able to determine what deer you're looking at. Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by Record Reg Deer and Elk Feeds, New Dart, Prime Acres Outfitters, Rut Manufacturing, the new game management software, and by VAF Contracting and Fencing. Now it's time to hear from Ron with VAF Contracting and Fencing.
Hey everybody, it's Ron here. We're really well known for building any type of fence you could possibly think of, or any type of land improvement you could think of out on your property. But our main bread and butter has always been 8-foot game fence. This is for deer and exotic hunting ranches, breeding farms, facilities, whatever you want to keep in or out of your property. So today we're looking at this new 8-foot game fence. You can see here we got our H braces, double kicker for some small turns. We built this one out of bare steel pipe. Schedule 40 pipe is everything that we use, and then American green T-post. We like to go all American on all of our stuff just because the best stuff that you can possibly buy on the market. So whether you're out there looking for new fence construction, land clearing, or any property improvements you may think of, we've got you covered here.
To contact VAF Contracting and Fencing, call 254-709-9418. All right, so these guys are up and they're getting the bottles ready right now. It's first thing in the morning. And so these fawns, they're kind of standing around like, hey, when are you gonna feed me? And I want to talk about feeding the fawns, okay? So the fawns are just like babies, they gotta be fed. All right, so at this point, these fawns are at 2 a day, but they're also eating feed, okay? This is a Record Rec starter, okay? This is just a little pellet. I'm gonna open this up and show you. And so what happens is these deer start out on bottles, and then you gotta get them on feed. And so they Record Rec, of course, they make all different kinds of feed, but this is just a little pelletized feed, and they've got it in a feeder over here, and they've also got some little bowls over here. So that's what it looks like. And so what happens is right now, these deer are getting not just milk, but they're getting Record Rec pellets. I got to tell you something, when you wind up starting breeding these GEBVs, this is really important, and deer breeders, like, they're going to go, yeah, right, okay. But if you're not a deer breeder, listen up to me, GEBVs is where it's at, okay? And just because you got a low GEBV score deer here, a daddy, low score, and a low score mama, does not mean that you're going to get a low score baby, does it?
Hopefully it winds up between, but it might pop up, but it also might pop down.
Yeah, so there's no guarantees there, okay? But what we wind up doing, we want to breed the low score and the low score, because hopefully that's what you're going to get, another low score. But we've seen it to where you take a low one and a low one, and the offspring is higher than either one of them. And
yeah.
It's like, that's just the way it is. That's just the way genetics, you roll the dice, that's just what happens. But to get things in our favor, we are looking at the GEBV scores. We want the low, breeding to low, and that's the reason why we're breeding the way we are.
One thing I want to say, on my farm, and I've been doing this 5 years, which isn't a long time, but I really only have one deer on my farm that's not below Dr. Seabury's cutoff. Everything besides one doe will make Dr. Seabury's cut.
Everybody in the industry who is anybody is starting to breed with the GEBVs, and they started years ago, and it just so happens that Daniel kind of started a little bit ahead of most people. So that's the reason why his deer are so far out there and ahead of others. But give them a phone number in case somebody wants to come out here and take a look at them.
My phone number is 318-469-9404.
You got 20 acres of deer pens, big deer, good breeding values, and give them a holler. It's worth your time to come out here and take a look at this deer. I think deer farming is so therapeutic. I think that it gives an opportunity. You can make some money at it, make doggone good money at it if you're smart at it. But deer farming is just good. It's the lifestyle that I think I like the most. What do you think?
I agree.
I mean, it's just fantastic. And we're at Daniel Thomas Whitetails, and this is in northern Louisiana. The Arkansas border is about a mile away. And if you're interested in coming out here to see his deer, I would encourage you to give Daniel a call. He'll give you his phone number in a second. Make sure you grab a pencil and paper, write it down. But call him up. Right now it's early August. Okay, and these deer, they still got a long ways to go as far as the bucks. They got a couple, 3 weeks of antler growing to go. But as you can see, the deer channel, he's got some buck fawns out in the pens. He's got doe fawns that they're bottle feeding, so they all stay gentle just like this. And if you want to come on out here, write down Daniel's phone number, give him a call. What is it?
318-469-9404.
And I promise you, it's worth the drive. This is out of Springhill, Louisiana, and it's going to be worth your drive coming up here. And check it out. Not only does he have the wow factor in the bucks at 2 years of age, but he's got some of the best GEBVs on the market right now. And the reason why is Daniel started just a little bit ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
Daniel, thank you for having us out. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see more deer wildlife stories, head on over to YouTube and check out the Deer Farming channel. My name is Keith Warren, and we'll catch you next time.